Listen, I know what you're thinking. Another goddamn Christmas movie list. Another parade of candy cane sentiment and reindeer bullshit designed to turn your brain into eggnog. But here's the thing. Christmas cinemato isn't have to be a lobotomy. It can be wild, dangerous, philosophical, sexy, violent, and yes, even sentimental without being stupid. This isn't a list for people who want safety. This is for border crossers, the cinematic adventurers who want their holidays served with a side of chaos. We're talking comedies that'll split your sides, dramas that'll wreck you emotionally, art films that'll make you question reality, and a couple of entries so transgressive they might get you excommunicated from family dinner. Don't like horror? We've got screwball romance. Can't stand Hollywood? European art cinema says hello. The point is this. Christmas movies are a continent, not a suburb, and we're about to take the scenic route through every region, from the gentle slopes to the jagged peaks. So grab your cocoa, spike it with something strong, and let's talk about films organized by what they actually say about Christmas. Because the holiday means different things to different people, and cinema reflects all of it. Part 1. Christmas as Romance and Connection. Let's start with the heart. These films understand that Christmas, at its core, is about human connection, whether that's falling in love, reconnecting with family, or finding your people. The Shop Around the Corner, 1940. Ernst Lubitsch understood something most directors forget. The sexiest thing two people can do is talk. Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan work in the same Budapest gift shop, hate each other's guts, but are unknowingly falling in love through anonymous letters. It's the blueprint for romantic comedy, smart, tender, and proof that Lubitsch had more sophistication in his pinky finger than most filmmakers have in their entire career. You want Christmas romance that treats you like an adult? Start here. Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944. Vincente Minnelli directs Judy Garland in a Technicolor fever dream about an American family at the turn of the century. The Christmas sequence, where little Margaret O'Brien destroys her Snow family in a fit of rage and despair, is genuinely unsettling. Childhood trauma wrapped in ribbons and tinsel. But then Garland sings "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," and suddenly you understand why movies were invented. It's sentimental, sure, but earned sentiment, the kind that makes you feel things whether you want or not. The Apartment, 1960. Billy Wilder takes the rom-com and shoots it full of poison. Jack Lemmon plays a sad sack office drone who loans his apartment to executives for their affairs, then falls for an elevator operator, Shirley MacLaine, who's being used by his boss. It's funny until it's devastating, romantic until it's cynical, and the Christmas Eve sequence is one of the most achingly beautiful things Wilder ever put on screen. This is what happens when a genuine misanthrope tries to believe in love. It's messy, complicated, and absolutely essential. All That Heaven Allows, 1955. Douglas Sirk's melodrama about a widow, Jane Wyman, who falls for her younger gardener, Rock Hudson, and faces social ostracism, is Technicolor perfection. Sirk uses the Christmas season to highlight the cruelty of polite society, showing how conformity destroys genuine feeling. It looks like a greeting card, but cuts like a knife. This influenced everyone from Fassbinder to Todd Haynes, proving that melodrama is one of cinema's most powerful tools when wielded by a master. Devastating and beautiful in equal measure. Phantom Thread, 2017. Paul Thomas Anderson's twisted romance about a fastidious dressmaker, Daniel Day-Lewis, and the woman, Vicky Creeps, who refuses to be controlled by him. Anderson shoots it like Hitchcock doing relationship horror, and Johnny Greenwood's score is unsettling perfection. This is romance for people who understand that love is sometimes about breaking someone down to build them back up, not for the faint of heart. Part 2. Christmas as Survival and Redemption. These films see Christmas as a crucible, a time when characters are tested, when survival isn't guaranteed, and redemption must be earned through blood, sweat, or sheer force of will. It's a Wonderful Life, 1946. Frank Capra's masterpiece has been so overplayed, so merchandised, so culturally strip-mined that we forget how dark and desperate it actually is. This is a film about suicide, about crushing economic anxiety, about a man staring into the void and finding nothing. Jimmy Stewart gives one of the greatest performances in American cinema. Watch his face crack when he screams at his kids, when he begs for his life back. The redemption is real because the despair is real. This isn't feel-good cinema. It's survival cinema disguised as a Christmas card. Die Hard, 1988. Yeah, is it a Christmas movie? Shut up. It's set at a Christmas party, features holiday music, and is about a man trying to reconnect with his family against impossible odds. John McClane crawling through broken glass in a Nakatomi Plaza air duct is the modern nativity story. One man's journey through hell to save the people he loves. McTiernan stages action like a maestro conducting violence, and Alan Rickman creates the most charismatic villain in cinema history. This is Shakespeare with explosions. Tokyo Godfathers, 2003. Satoshi Kon's anime about 3 homeless people who find an abandoned baby on Christmas Eve is proof that animation can do things live action can't. It's a screwball comedy, a melodrama, a thriller, and a spiritual journey all at once. Kon's visual imagination is staggering. Tokyo becomes this neon-lit wonderland of miracles and coincidences. But beneath the style is genuine heart, a story about chosen families and second chances that'll destroy you in the best way. If you think animation is just for kids, this film will re-educate you violently. 3 Godfathers, 1948. John Ford takes the 3 wise men parable and transplants it to the Old West. 3 outlaws, John Wayne, Pedro Armendariz, Harry Carey Jr., find a dying woman and her newborn in the desert and must get the baby to safety across brutal terrain. It's Ford doing what he does best, turning a simple story into a meditation on masculinity, sacrifice, and redemption. The Technicolor desert becomes simultaneously beautiful and merciless. Ford was a master at this kind of myth-making, and watching these hardened criminals transform into protectors is genuinely moving. This is the spiritual godfather, pun intended, to Tokyo Godfathers, proving the story works across cultures and centuries. Home Alone, 1990. John Hughes writes, Chris Columbus directs, and Macaulay Culkin becomes a superstar in a movie that's basically Die Hard for kids. An 8-year-old defends his house from burglars using elaborate traps, and it's way more violent than you remember. But beneath the slapstick carnage is genuine heart. A kid learning self-reliance, a family realizing what matters, and John Williams delivering one of his most beautiful scores. It's perfectly crafted entertainment that respects its audience regardless of age. 12 Monkeys, 1995. Terry Gilliam's time travel mindbender about a man, Bruce Willis, sent back from a plague-ravaged future to prevent the apocalypse. The Christmas imagery throughout creates this haunting contrast between holiday cheer and impending doom. Gilliam's visuals are hallucinogenic. Brad Pitt is unhinged perfection, and the circular narrative will haunt you for days. This is science fiction as philosophy, asking questions about fate, madness, and whether we can ever escape our own nature. Part 3. Christmas as comedy and chaos. Sometimes the best way to deal with Christmas is to laugh at its absurdity. These films embrace the chaos, the commercialism, and the sheer insanity of the season. Trading Places, 1983. John Landis directs Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in a savage takedown of capitalism disguised as a Christmas comedy. 2 rich bastards make a bet about nature versus nurture and destroy 2 men's lives for sport. It's hilarious, sure. Murphy is a rocket of charisma, but beneath the laughs is genuine rage at class inequality and economic brutality. The finale, where our heroes destroy their tormentors on the commodities exchange, is wish fulfillment for anyone who's ever been screwed by the system. Comedy as revolution. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 1989. Real talk. Having family over for Christmas can be as terrifying as any horror movie. The forced intimacy with relatives you barely tolerate, the mounting disasters, the pressure to perform happiness. It's psychological warfare. But when you watch Clark Griswold, Chevy Chase, endure this nightmare on screen, suddenly it becomes comedy gold. John Hughes understood that family chaos is universal, and there's catharsis in watching someone else's holiday implode. This is therapy disguised as slapstick. Jingle All the Way, 1996. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a workaholic dad trying to get his kid the hot toy on Christmas Eve, and it's way better than it should be. Director Brian Levant stages the toy hunt like an action movie. Schwarzenegger commits completely to the comedy, and there's genuine satire about consumer culture beneath the chaos. Yes, it's ridiculous. Yes, it's over the top. But it's also about a father trying to connect with his son, and sometimes the heart wins out over the absurdity. Kiss Kiss, Bang Bang, 2005. Shane Black's memoir about a thief, Robert Downey Jr., who stumbles into acting, teams with a gay private eye, Val Kilmer, and gets caught in a murder conspiracy during Christmas. Black writes dialogue like Chandler on cocaine, stages action like a jazz improvisation, and deconstructs noir while celebrating it. Downey gives one of his best performances, all manic charm and genuine vulnerability. This is for anyone who loves movies that are smart, funny, violent, and completely self-aware. Part 4. Christmas as outsider experience. Not everyone fits into the Norman Rockwell Christmas fantasy. These films belong to the misfits, the outcasts, the ones watching from outside the warm glow of belonging. A Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965. 25 minutes of existential dread aimed at children. Charlie Brown is depressed. Commercialism is destroying the holiday's meaning, and that sad little tree becomes a symbol for everyone who's ever felt inadequate during the most wonderful time of the year. Charles Schulz and Bill Melendez created something that respects kids enough to tell them the truth. Christmas can be lonely, people can be cruel, but meaning is what you make it. In a world screaming about consumption, Charlie Brown asks why everything feels hollow. Jazz instead of jingles. Silence instead of spectacle. This is philosophy for all ages. Edward Scissorhands, 1990. Tim Burton loves Christmas. He made an entire movie about a skeleton trying to steal it. He set the climax of Batman Returns during the holidays. But Edward Scissorhands is his masterpiece, Christmas movie or otherwise. It's a fairy tale about otherness, about suburban cruelty, about how society chews up anyone who doesn't fit the mold. Danny Elfman's score will break you. Johnny Depp's performance is heartbreaking without speaking much. And that final image of Edward creating snow for Winona Ryder is pure cinema. Burton would spend the rest of his career trying to recapture this magic and never quite succeeding. Silent Night, 2023. John Woo makes a brutal, stylized action movie about a father, Joel Kinnaman, hunting down a gang who killed his family on Christmas Eve. There's almost no dialogue. Woo tells the story through pure visual cinema, gunfights staged like ballets of death. It's where returning to his Hong Kong roots, all doves and double-fisted pistols and slow-motion carnage. Critics hated it, audiences ignored it, but this is John Woo doing what John Woo does best, turning violence into poetry. For action purists only. Part 5. Christmas as philosophical inquiry. For some filmmakers, Christmas is a lens to examine deeper questions about faith, morality, desire, and what it means to be human. My Night with Maud, 1969. Eric Rohmer's talky, philosophical chamber piece about a Catholic engineer, Jean-Louis Trintignant, spending Christmas Eve with a free-thinking divorcee, Françoise Fabian, is everything Hollywood thinks will bore audiences to death. 90 minutes of people talking in rooms about faith, morality, Pascal's wager, and romantic choices. And it's absolutely riveting. Rohmer proves that ideas are drama, that conversation is cinema, and that the most erotic thing two people can do is actually listen to each other. This is for anyone who thinks movies have gotten too dumb. Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. Stanley Kubrick's final film, a psychosexual odyssey through Manhattan's wealthy elite during the Christmas season. Tom Cruise plays a doctor whose marriage implodes after his wife, Nicole Kidman, confesses a sexual fantasy, sending him on a night-long journey through jealousy, desire, and secret societies. It's deliberately paced, deeply uncomfortable, and absolutely hypnotic. Kubrick uses Christmas lights and decorations to create this dreamlike atmosphere where nothing feels real. This is adult cinema in every sense, complex, ambiguous, and unafraid to leave you unsettled. A Christmas Tale, 2008. Arnaud Desplechin takes the dysfunctional family drama and shoots it through with French New Wave energy. Handheld cameras, direct address, theatrical staging, and a cast of characters so damaged they make the Griswolds look stable. Catherine Deneuve plays the matriarch who needs a bone marrow transplant, forcing her fractured family together for the holidays. But this isn't a heartwarming reunion. It's a dissection of resentment, old wounds, and the impossible mathematics of forgiveness. Desplechin doesn't judge these people. He observes them with clinical precision and unexpected compassion. It's messy, novelistic, and proof that French cinema still knows how to make family chaos feel like high art. Part 6, Christmas as Nightmare. And finally, for those who want their holidays with a side of terror, these films understand that Christmas, with all its forced cheer and familial obligations, can be absolutely horrifying. Black Christmas, 1974. Bob Clark made this terrifying slasher before he made A Christmas Story, which tells you everything about range. A sorority house gets terrorized by an obscene-calling murderer during the holidays, and Clark stages it like Hitchcock on acid. The phone calls are genuinely disturbing, the kills are brutal, and the ending refuses to give you comfort. This is Christmas as nightmare fuel, a reminder that horror doesn't take holidays off. It influenced Halloween and every slasher that followed. But Black Christmas remains uniquely unsettling. This is ground zero for holiday horror. Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984, and Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out, 1989. The franchise that caused moral panic in the 80s. Parents were horrified by the idea of a killer Santa. The original is raw, nasty exploitation about childhood trauma turning someone into a Yuletide murderer. But here's the thing. Part 3, directed by Monte Hellman. Yes, that Monte Hellman, the art film maverick behind Tulane Blacktop, is genuinely fascinating. Hellman brings his existential, almost meditative approach to slasher material, creating something that's part horror, part fever dream, part Lynchian nightmare. It shouldn't work, but it does. It's proof that even in exploitation franchises, you can find moments of genuine auteur vision. The series is trashy, offensive, and absolutely essential for understanding how Christmas iconography can be weaponized. Terrifier 3, 2024. Damien Leone's Art the Clown returns for his most brutal outing yet, and he's wearing a Santa suit. This is not for the squeamish. Leone pushes gore to grand, Guignol extremes that make most horror look tame. But there's something fascinating about how Leone uses Christmas as a backdrop for carnage. The juxtaposition of holiday cheer and extreme violence becomes almost satirical, a middle finger to forced seasonal joy. David Howard Thornton's performance as Art is genuinely unnerving. He makes the killer Santa into something primal and chaotic. This is midnight movie madness, the kind of film that reminds you horror can still be dangerous, transgressive, and absolutely uncompromising. Not everyone's cup of eggnog, but for gore hounds, this is the unholy grail. So there you have it. 24 films organized not by genre or decade, but by what they actually have to say about Christmas. Romance and connection, survival and redemption, comedy and chaos. the outsider experience, philosophical inquiry, and yes, pure nightmare fuel for those who want their holidays bloody. The point isn't that you need to watch all of these. The point is that you can. That cinema gives you permission to celebrate however you want. Want sentiment? It's here. Want violence? Got it. Want to have your philosophical assumptions challenged by French masters? We got you covered. Christmas movies aren't a genre, they're a lens. And through that lens, filmmakers have shown us every emotion, every genre, every possibility that cinema offers. From Ernst Lubitsch's sophisticated romance to Damien Leone's ultra-violent provocation, from John Ford's mythic western to Stanley Kubrick's psychosexual nightmare, from Satoshi Kon's animated miracle to Monte Hellman's exploitation art. It's all Christmas, and it's all valid. So this year, don't let anyone tell you what a Christmas movie should be. Don't let tradition limit your options. Don't let the algorithm decide your holiday. Be adventurous. Be curious. Be willing to try something that might surprise you. Because the best gift cinema can give you is the reminder that there's always something new to discover, always another border to cross, always another filmmaker showing you something you've never seen before. This is Mr. Smithy signing off. Have yourself a merry little movie marathon. And if your relatives ask what you're watching, tell them you're expanding your horizons. They'll think you're being pretentious, but you'll know the truth. You're just refusing to be bored. Stay restless, film lovers. See you in the new year.